think it's an insignificant loss. I mean, he's played a lot of football for Notre Dame since 2019. He has obviously battled through injuries. He had, when you get a guy who 2 big sacks against Cal, that was important in that game. Last year against Wisconsin, right? Heinisch got hurt. Him and Cross had to really step up. He did step up. He played well in that game, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, he barely plays this year. And that's a product of the depth that they have at defensive tackle. And also, Howard Cross is playing at a really, really high level, and Lacey wasn't going to beat him out. So he was going to be a backup. You already have a guy like Chris Smith who barely plays too, who's looked good. Rubio's coming on and playing as well too. And then you have like Aiden Kananaina, who I know they're high on. He obviously is out for the season because he tore his ACL in spring. But like, they got a lot of bodies there. Then you have, obviously Jason Admiral is a 3-tech. He's not going to play over Jason Admiral. He could maybe back him up. But then you also have Mills, who lines up and plays inside and is a pass rusher. And he's a better pass rusher than Lacey. So it's not trying to diminish that Lacey's losing him. It's not good, because that's like a depth piece, a guy who could step up. And if he had to start, he could and play pretty well. At the same time, you'll be fine without him because you have enough guys there. They're deep. Like, this isn't like 2017. They're very deep at defensive tackle. And then I think last year, or next year, he could have started maybe, but I mean, we don't know if Mills is going to come back inside and they're going to play Mills and Cross there. We don't know if, what they're going to do if Cross is going to play 3-tech, and then all of a sudden you got Rubio and Kananaina, and then like Onye coming on. Like, I've heard good things about Jason Onye. I thought he looked good, really worked hard. And then you got like Tyson Ford's a 3-tech.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is going to, and they're very high on him. He's going to play a lot. So it's like, it's a lot of competition there where, look at like Jamie Franklin could not see the field at Notre Dame. And obviously some of that was his injuries, right?
Right.
He leads Duke in sacks. Like, he's a good player. Like, he's not like he's a guy who can play Power 5 football. Lacey obviously can start somewhere. He just probably wasn't going to start at Notre Dame. So, you wish him the best and best of luck to him.
So the people are like the timing. So they've played 4 games and he wants to preserve a year for wherever he goes. Right. So if he was to play against BYU, he loses this year, he'd only have 1 year left. Right. So he wants to have the opportunity to have a 2-year run to start somewhere, obviously. And that's the thing. Like, when you're a player like Jacob Lacey, and he probably feels like, hey, I can go start somewhere and make a run at being an NFL draft pick, right? That's probably what he's thinking. And look, this is only one. You only get one opportunity for this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he can try over again somewhere. Like, he can only play football for a set amount of time. And so for him, it's like, look, I got to get on the field, right? I don't want to be done. I want to go as far as football can take me. And if he feels like he can't do that at Notre Dame, then it makes sense to move on now, because you want to get those 2 years, And it's like you said, it's not that Jacob Lacey can't play. He can obviously play. He made 2 sacks in the Cal game. I mean, he had a huge game, right?
He would have started on a lot of Notre Dame teams,
right? And so he kind of got unlucky last year because he had the bad ankle injury against Wisconsin. We had a really good football game against them, and then he had the ankle injury that kept him out for a really long time.
The shoulder the year before, the
shoulder, So he just got unlucky there, and for one player's like misfortune is another player's fortune, right? Those players like the Howard Cross, right? Like, he's able to gain footing and become a more more regular player, and so it's kind of unfortunate for Lacey. So he's probably thinking, I can't, like 20 snaps a game, like I can't do that. 20.
He's not even getting that, really,
right? And he didn't get that against North Carolina. He got 9. And look, he ceded snaps to Gabriel Rubio. Chris Smith is playing well. Howard Cross is playing at a very high level. So it's one of those things for him. He probably thinks, man, I can go in there and I can be like a real player. Like I can be Howard Cross. But then he probably looks at it like, but Howard Cross also has like a really good case to play. And so does Gabriel Rubio. And so does Aiden Keanoina. And so does Riley Mills. And so does Tyson Ford. It's like when you have a bunch of bodies and a bunch of options who can play and the team is excited about, well, someone's going to miss out there, And so it just makes sense then to move on. It's bad for Notre Dame because he's a good football player.
Yeah.
And you want to be, anytime you put someone in on the defensive line, you want a good football player in there. And he's that, right? So go ahead.
Well, I think too, like, even if you would have played and people like, well, one, he's going to get his degree, so he's going to be fine, whatever, in that terms of that too. So he's going to get his Notre Dame degree. And the other thing is that, there's a lot that goes into like when you're just part of just the rotation rather than a starter. And even when you're like a starter, but then you don't play on third down or whatever. Well, now he might have the chance to go somewhere where guy has never had a chance to rush on third down his entire career. Now he might get a chance to do it. And maybe he'll be awesome. Like